I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good, like I was the whole mood. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today. Feel like getting me a sitter today. I make her smile, I make her laugh, laugh, laugh. I make her dance, I make her wine, wine, wine. Feel like getting down, down to me, girl. Feel like touching down, dance to me, girl. I'll make you want me, make you want me, make you want me. I'll make you smile, I'll make you feel. After that, I'll take you to my place where we would play, but before we play, yeah, feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. You and me, we rule the world. Me and you, we're gonna make them jump. We're gonna make them dance. Come on, jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Feeling good. Jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. We jump dance, we jump dance, we jump dance. We jump dance, we jump dance, we jump dance. Feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, booka, 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 booka. Producer, bless.
Yeah.
When you play with your chance, you gotta lose it to right. You never get it to back, back, back. When you play, and you never take it all serious. Cause you want things you do, want a genius, 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 genius.
If the clock stopped, we would always have now. But you know that's not how this is gonna go down. So don't wait, don't waste, don't take for granted. Let's use what we've been handed. Even if you don't understand it, like the singing is just taking while you figure it out. Join in. And don't you know the life goes? Yeah, you gotta step into the flow. Sometimes you gotta chase it. And it's what you make it.
You gotta think about your life, think about your future. And the woman and the things you wanna give. Give a microphone and you gotta
present is already past.
Many, many, money more, many, many, money more. Pokemon, money more. Belladonna,
East
money
meets
more.
west.
Let's touch, money more.
Yep.
Penny stocks,
Penny stocks.
money, money, money more. Dynamo, New Harlem, money, money, money more. Yeah, let's go.
And don't you know the life goes? Yeah, you gotta step into the flow. Sometimes you gotta chase it. And it's what you make it.
Many, many, money more, many, many, money more. Pokemon, money more. Belladonna,
East
money
meets
more.
west.
Let's touch, money more.
Yep.
Penny stocks,
Penny stocks.
money, money, money more. Dynamo, New Harlem, money, money, money more. Yeah. Well, good morning, my people. How are you doing today? Lifestyle Wednesday, but tuina topic olwaliro okujjako okwogera ku inspection zenkoze this week. I have posted all the cars, even the one I inspected yesterday. Ricky Chikawa, I think it just skips my mind. Let me just include it in the inspection report now. I'm going to go edit that form. I'm going to put more information. Right now, I think I want to add more information in the inspection report, yeah? And that is going to also include the year of manufacture. So that if I skip talking about the year of manufacture on the post, then at least you guys have it in the inspection report. Yeah, sometimes it's because the way I post, sometimes in posting anga nyangua, I skip it. Yeah, but as I tell you the stories, I am going to tell you the year of manufactures of these cars. Yeah. Muyombia Mark, good morning. Musinguzi Gerald, motion by Benchi, Lawrence Biamukama, Samuel Ntale, Council Patrick Asiku, User Lawrence Omule, Serwaji Richard, Abdallah Bubeka, Ricky Chikawa, Chiobio Alex, Frank Promo, Kawa Armstrong, Ronald Muchwa, Stanley Chigozi, Nuaha Norman. I've just went back into your car buys 1 year back, and it seems the cars have gone up in prices. Yes, emoro kaziri nye wonna emoro kaziri nye, but there are cars that we buy that are actually cheap, like the Trezia. If you look at the Trezia now, that was one of the best buys this week, which take it, but we only got it at the price because it was a Subaru. Like, it's very hard for you to convince anyone that, you know what, this is a Ractis. It's a Ractis. Everything that is in that car is a Ractis, which take it at the new model Ractis. But this person Ariku Border must have gotten a motorcycle accident. Yeah, echigere muchiraba chichiri echigere muchiraba agenda mu ddwaliro kirabika oba ava mu ddwaliro because Churudu is this side bambi, and the wife is there. Basajja mutemo siimo omukazi wuuyo atudde naye ku boda. Aliganyira Derek, good morning. K Giovanna, Mpanga Godfrey. Anyway, this week we have bought 4 cars so far. On Monday I inspected 3 cars. 1 car I have not posted because the owner, my phone was out of charge when we went to inspect that car, so I asked the owner to take for me pictures. Sometimes people are uncomfortable with me sharing the pictures of their cars, so I did not want to push it. So, but I'm going to still tell you the story. We bought the Trezia, we bought the highest Chigati drone, then we also bought a Subaru Forester 2010. And yesterday I inspected the Auris, that's a 2009 Auris. And then also yesterday we did diagnosis on his Toyota Sienna. The gentleman was also here on the live broadcast. He said, he called me some time ago and he said his Sienna gave him 7 kilometers per liter. Now I'm also going to tell you what we did on that car, because after diagnosis, then my team also worked on the car, and I'm quite sure we fixed the problem. And I'm going to tell you some of the mistakes that mechanics make that will cost you a lot, because they don't know. Baba tebamanyi. Ochite the mechanic abatamanyi. okitegeera ate ebiseera ebisinga tayagala gamba tamanyi Maurice Atoms good morning Muchunguzi Gerald good morning. I have seen a post on social media saying the whole region cars are very expensive in Uganda compared to Tanzania, Kenya. What's your say? Yes, they are expensive, just like everything else. Land is expensive. The people that have not yet married, marriage is expensive. We cannot be comparing ourselves to a country that has a different leader. I'll give you an example. Tanzania, during elections, how many people died? You get it? So here, I think about 200 people were killed during elections. And in Tanzania, more than 2,000 were killed during elections. You get it? So I want to think that countries have different leaders. Some leaders are more idiotic than others. And yes, we have to accept that even the presidents we have, like I'll give you an example. Our president came into power in 1986. I don't think the people that were there in 1986 are brighter than us. I don't think they were sharper than us. I actually think we think more than them. We are more enlightened than them. So I don't want to think that the president we have is like the sharpest man in the country. Or check it, but he has the power. I don't want to think that Uhuru, Yanio guy, Ruto, is the sharpest in Kenya, but he has the power. Samia Sululu is not like the sharpest. And I'm sure people got excited when Tanzania got a female president. But she has the power. I know we have a lot of brilliant people in this country. You get it? So now once we understand that the presidents all over are not the sharpest, they are not the wisest, then I'm thinking it will be very easy for us to understand. It will be very easy for us to understand that the situations we are in are as good as our leaders. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The conditions that we are in are as good as our leaders. So for me, I'm not going to complain about the price of the cars. We have an open budget-free economy. Yeah? They call it the free economy. Everyone can price their things the way they want. You can choose to either buy it or not buy it. I don't know if you get what me. I know the math of. I know the math, and when you look at the math, the taxes are really high. If the government like charged 5 million per car in terms of taxes, the prices will go really low. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. For me, I've said this time and again, it's the commercial vehicles. That's where the guys make the real money. These other small cars of ours, those guys make 3-5 million. And if anyone has imported a car, they will tell you they saved between 3 and 5 million. No one has ever saved 10 million when they imported the car. The only cars where you can save 10 million when you import them are commercial vehicles like the trucks or the higher says the vans or the buses. You get it? But also there is a reason why even companies like MTN, companies like Airtel, companies like Coca-Cola, there is a reason why even them, they don't import their vehicles. It's a much better decision. It's a much better choice to buy a car locally, because locally you have guarantee, a bit of guarantee. You look at what you're buying. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. But of course, anyone is free to go and import their own car, because when you import yourself between 3 to 5 million, that's a fact. We all know that taxes are the biggest reason why cars are expensive. It's not the traders. The traders must make profit. That's why they're in business. The traders must make. You get it? Is Mazda CX-5 a good buy? It depends. If it's in good condition, yes, you can buy. Hey, Kutesa David, good morning. But for sure, Toyota Auris and RAV4 Vanguard Akabe is way too much compared to what they are. Yes, but the taxes they pay, you guys need to understand that the taxes are also levied based on demand. If a car is demanded, the taxes will go high. And also the traders will take advantage of that because you want the car. I think it's natural. It's just something we even studied in economics, in commerce, in senior 2, senior 3. Where there is demand, the prices will definitely go high. High Nema. So yes, the prices of cars in Uganda might actually be high,
but there are factors that, and also you guys need to understand, Tanzania has a port, Kenya has a port. Then someone is going to say Congo and Sudan don't have a port. Yes, but also Congo and Sudan are always at war. You cannot compare a country that has a bit of peace to a country that is always at war. Congo and Sudan are always at war. You get, so they don't have the time to actually think how much tax do we need, how much. The same thing with Burundi. Burundi is one of the poorest countries in the region. So and I'm not an economist, I'm not a political analyst, I don't know those things, but I know a bit of information that I can base on to know that well the country as Uganda is, we have a bit of peace. So whoever is in any office has the time to actually think, if we increase the taxes here and there, we could do this. You get, I don't know if you guys get my point. Let's go back to my topic today. But why is it that more people have bought the CX-5 Mazda? Is it the mechanics recommending them, or people in Uganda have just started liking them? The Mazdas are very nice cars. It's just the maintenance. That's why you don't see the old Mazdas on the road. He drives 1-2 years, it dies, he fails to maintain it, he either sells it or parks it. I don't know, but I'm thinking in the bond it was about 50 million, 55. So is a security button necessary for a push to start. Not always, but just put it. I always recommend you put a tracker in your car. Security buttons are no problem, but I always recommend you put a tracker in your car. It's better than the button. The button should be there as a decoy, so that when a thief comes na kuteka ke jambi ya omulaga ka button na simbula na agenda gwe no mugobeda ne chi ne no mugobeda ni border. Amina Gerald, I hope you guys you get it. There are so many factors. Kenya, I'll give you an example. To get a car to Uganda, you invest an extra 2 million shillings in just the guy that's going to drive it from Mombasa to Kampala. In Kenya, they don't have that. In Kenya, a person can just take a bus, they go to the port and drive their car home. Here, you have to get someone to drive it here. We have corruption. There is a dude that I saw that imported their own car, and they said, guy yamba ina take a million yemu, biagendo kugwa ngatademu million isatu. You get, what on the corruption yao? But let's go to the inspections, because the moment I reach mukama bwankwati yako ngenda lero kuduka nziruka kilomita 8. Guys, let me just put this out there. Guys, if you're driving a car that has a differential, yeah, and it was not meant to be an off-road vehicle, tojiisa mumazi. If you have a car that has a differential nga ya 4-wheel, tojiisa mumazi. Difu eyo bwenywa ku mazzi ejja kufa. Difu eyo bwenywa ku mazzi ejja kufa. It's important that you understand that. So anyway, Monday. So, which car did we start with? We started with the Trezia. Was bought by someone who is a long time follower here. He used to be like a daily broadcast attender, like 2022, 2023, and a bit of 2024. And then I think he got busy, so he has not been on the broadcast for quite some time. But when he texted me the name, I knew it right away. So his goal was to buy a car of between 20 and 22 million shillings. And when he told me that, normally when someone tells me they want to buy a car of 20 and above million shillings, normally I'd ask them, why are we not going to the bond? I don't know if you get, why are we not going to the bond? Why? Because in bonds, most of the cars, if you give them 20 million, at least most of the cars. And of course there are cars where I have a video of the cheapest car in Ugandan bonds, the cheapest. The cheapest car in the bond. The video is going to come. I did it in a rush because try to mazo kukanya with the owner to get to Jikole like it was in a bond, and then they paid for it. Nebajigula. So nitujikola mbwangu nyini yagitwale nga tumaze ogikola. Like there are not so many of them, but that's something else. So anyway, we go out to look for the car of 2022, and I'd like to tell you that the biggest trouble we found was us figuring out which car we should buy. So the initial budget was 20 million, and we were looking for a used car. And when he called me, we didn't quite conclude. The options would be the Sienna, the Wish, the Raum. You get the Vitz. You can't get a Primo, you can't get a good Fielder, you can't get a good Rumion at 20. So I told him at 20 it's quite tricky. But most of the cars are 25. But then I also told him even at 25, I find that most of those cars are not worth the buy at 25, because most of the cars you're going to buy at 25 used in the bond, they're 33, 34, like the Fielder, like the Rumion. Most of those cars that bagenda okuguza 25, the Wish, ate mu bonds a million asatu monya. So why would you buy a car that you can get at 33 new 25? It would not be a very good decision. So Kati, we spent some time pondering, and then I made him sit in a number of cars. I made him sit in a Mark X. I made him sit in the Alphard. I made him sit in a Subaru, I think. Just to make sure to jog his brain. Eh? And for me, my goal was that we get a car that is 20 million or below. Why? I did not want it for him to buy a car of 25. For me, I thought it did not make sense, because I know for a fact when you buy a used car of 25, because it still has an element of a new car, in about a year or two, you're going to want to buy a new car. So why would you buy a car at 25 if in a year you would want to change? So normally I recommend all the people that come to me buying a 25 million, I'd either tell them, let's go buy a car of from the bond of 28 or 30, or let's just buy a car of 20 million and you save the 5 million and buy another car in the future. That's normally what I tell you guys. And so after testing all these cars, so he tested all these cars and did not like them. So while he was there, the person of the drone, I wasn't sure he was coming. The person of the drone, I think, had cancelled on me a number of times. So I wasn't sure he was coming. But while we were there still pondering on what car to buy, the person of the drone called me. Passenger motorcycles are a problem here. So the person of the drone called me and he said, you know what, I want to come. And he said, you come to Nakawa, because I was already in Nakawa. So while this gentleman was pondering on what car should we buy, the person of the drone came. So I told him, you know what, let's go look at drones as you also decide. I also wanted him in a way to look at the cars in the bond and see if he would be able to take a loan on a car. And so he did not think about it at all. So the gentleman of the drone had called me a couple of days ago, and he wanted to bet 250,000 for inspection. I told him, and that's why we had never concluded. So finally he came, and the gentleman that bought the drone is the gentleman that brought, you remember the Mark X, I told you that a problem on the road, Netujukura wheel balancing and all, I advised him to change tires. That's the guy. So he came, and we went to look at drones. So the gentleman of the drone initially wanted to buy a normal drone. He's going to put it in taxi. You know those things of Fly Express? And he asked me what car should we buy. I told him he should buy a manual car, 2-wheel drive. It's always better. So, but manual cars 2-wheel drive, most bonds are selling them at 85 million shillings. Some people, some traders are even selling them 90 million. Yeah. So we had even actually made up our minds we can buy one of 85 as long as it's manual 2-wheel drive. But most of the cars we saw, as you see in the inspection report, were automatic. Yeah. But they also had bad engines. You get that is Fananange your drone here about. So, but we inspected them and they did not make sense. So we said, let's just go to some of the other bonds. And the bond where we went to buy that drone, we have bought a car there before. We bought there a Primo, the one of 55. Was it 55? You remember the Primo that I told you, gentleman drove for a couple of months, got a transfer, and ended up 45, ended up selling it at 30, making a loss of 15. Yeah, that's the place where we went. I was quite sure that place was going to be more expensive. But when we were going there, never to gamba or chigati, and then it scared me even more because chigatis are even more expensive than the normal drones. So we went to that place and we looked at, there were 2 drones, 2010 models. Also the 2010, the fact that they are 2010 models, I think also helped us a bit. But these guys were selling 2011 models at 80 million, 85. You get it? So 2010 was okay. So we reached and we looked at 2 cars because there were only 2. The rest of those cars were 2012. And one of them had a bad engine, yeah. The second one had a perfect engine, the one that we bought. And we inspected, I put the machine, we checked, and everything checked out. But before we concluded, the gentleman had to call the person he was going to give the car to drive, and just to ask if Chigati is okay. Yeah, but the Chigati, for me, I find that nobody will actually take the normal drone Chigati way. Yeah. The only reason that taxi drivers don't buy the Chigati is because of because Chigati ina bojisako katanda. Ochitegira atenga akatanda nako mbu kabakolera sente empitirivu, the katanda, the rack, the roof rack makes them a lot of money because they load luggage up there, and each piece of luggage pays money. So the Chigati we bought is like that, not that model particularly, but like that. So after confirming with his driver that the car would actually do better, the driver actually told him the Chigati is more favored than the normal drone. So they started negotiating. It was a team of 4. Boba Jiramo Moroka Yagwe. It was a team of 4, and they negotiated. I think the seller started from 85 and it went all the way to 75. And then in the office, after we had completed all our checks, he concluded with 74, including number plate. And so this gentleman had talked to me, and he said, Arthur, manjaran's get to booking in Morocco. Then Mfuna sent in like 2 weeks, then I'll go pay and they give me my car. So what we did is, after we negotiated, we deposited 1 million shillings on that car. And so he will come and pay. We are paying first installment 40 million shillings, and the balance will come in 6 months. It was quite good. So that was one of the cleanest. Now there is a thing we do when we are checking the cars, the exhaust, to find the black smoke and all. And then the gentleman that bought the Tracer was asking me, exhaust. And then I showed him the example. There were 2 drones there. If this guy wanted to wash, they would wash both the exhaust pipes. And then they right? So anyway, so that's what happened with the drone. And immediately after that, we went to have lunch. The gentleman that bought the Tracer bought us lunch, and we had seen the Tracer. So in the morning, after we looked at all these markets, I just told the gentleman, you know what, let's go look at the Tracer. I know you don't like small cars, but you know it's going to save us money, and the money you save with this purchase, you can add it onto the next car you buy. So I told him, let's just go and look at the Tracer. We went, looked at the Tracer. He did not like it. But then I think, on thinking about money and all that, he said, you know what, let's look at that car again. So after buying the drone, we went and had lunch. Even the gentleman that bought the drone came with his team, and they also ate from that same place. So we had lunch and Fenituva together to forget Tracer. Now, as we go to the Tracer, a gentleman calls me, Arthur, I want you to come and inspect a car that I want to buy here. And it was a Subaru Forester 2010. I told him, no problem. Do you know my inspection fee? I told him I charge 450. And I told him, Munange, I'm either worth the money or not worth the money. And he said, Kale Jangu. So we went and inspected the Subaru. It was only one car still. I don't have the pictures because it's the owner that took the pictures for me. I had no battery, so I could not take the pictures. So the Subaru Forester had a challenge with the rust under the car, especially, but with the removable parts, the suspension plates are the ones that had the rust. The frame itself was still intact, So the suspension plates had rust, both the front and the rear. I think even the brakes needed to be worked on. The car had rough idling, which could have been a bad airflow meter, could have been a dirty throttle, it could have been a broken hose pipe. So we did that, and we told him what he needed to do immediately after buying the car. Which is surprising is that after we left the place, he calls me and asks me, "Arthur, imorokeno sisi meka." That's a mistake you guys should not be making. You should not go, but you should not at any one point go to buy a car when you don't know what the engine capacity is. I would prefer that before you go to buy a car, research it. Find out the model, find out the chassis number, find out how much power it is, find out the you should also research the faults that the same car has, because certain cars come with faults that other cars don't have. I don't know if you get, like the Subaru 2012 model, especially one that comes with the X1 ABS pump, has a problem with the ABS pump, and you can literally not find it anywhere. So that's a Subaru Impreza that gave us trouble. So as we are inspecting Subaru Imprezas, we also want to look at, there's another ABS pump that also has problem, just like the X1. So we look at all of them to find out. So you need to be sure to know the car I'm going to buy won't it give me any kind of trouble. But that Subaru was okay. So, but as we were telling him, he asked me, "But Arthur, is it worth it?" So I asked him, "How much are you buying the car?" And before he told me there was a broker, I said, no, and guys, give me some likes. Thank you very much, Julius, for reminding them. Just double tap the screen. So the broker was like, and I told him, you know what? If I wanted to take this person to buy a car anywhere else, I would have taken him. Why am I saying that? It's because the Subaru Forester was bought at 37 million shillings. It wasn't the best, but the price was okay. Kati ono guy nga broker and ekandira ne muga negwe okimanyi nti nyina niwenzi manyeza asatu. Of course I did not know where the Subaru Forester 35 37 is like the lowest you can get that Forester at. But Nemugamba, do you know that I can take this person to buy a cheaper Subaru Forester somewhere else? And he said, and I told him, you have not hired me. This person has hired me to come inspect the car, tell him what's wrong with the car so that he weighs whether to buy. But of course now he had already paid some money, so he was not going anywhere. So what happened is that for me I calculated for him, and he said, "Mane atansobora kwongera mnebeziba million 3 emoroka njigule nga teri mu byakola nga nungi." And what I told him was that ebintu byogenda okora ku moroka ende binabyo nabifude tebisobola weza million meka. The most you will spend will probably be 800,000. So there is no reason to buy a Subaru Forester at 40 million if you can get one at 37, however much fault it has under there. So we are test driving the Trezia. So after the Forester, we drove the Trezia, went to the bank, and the seller found us at the bank, and we paid, and then I had to go pick my kids from school. Yeah. And then I got the gentleman that bought, I got him a driver that will take him because he doesn't live in Kampala. He needed a driver to take him up country. So I got him the driver, they went, did service, and then they left yesterday. So they did not leave that very day, they left yesterday. So yesterday, I had to inspect the lorry guy, the one that cancelled. And so when he cancelled, remember in the comment section, the gentleman of the Sienna said, "Arthur, since you don't have an inspection, let me come and work on our Sienna." So he brought it. So the problem was that the Sienna was giving him 7 kilometers per liter. Now, any car that has a 1NZ engine that is healthy and has been maintained properly should give you a minimum of 10 kilometers per liter. A minimum of 10 kilometers per liter. So, but when he bought it, I said, diagnosis 300. Guys, anybody that has Nkorabiganye, if your mechanic can still manage the problems of your car, don't bring it to me. Ebiganye nga makanika we moroka emulemye ng'olira ddala ekutamye makanika byakanika tebigwa emoroka jimpe nze nja bikola ebiganye byenjagala. If you have a car and your mechanic is not fixing the things properly, for me that's where I come in. For me, I will either fix the problem or tell you to sell the car. That's why you're paying me 300,000 shillings. Diagnosis for Arthur is 300 what? 300,000 shillings. If you can't afford that, don't bring your car to me. You get. So he brought the car and we looked at the car. I asked him to pay because he wanted to take the car yesterday. Normally, I'll ask you if you want me to do that, to work on your car properly. You leave it with me for a couple of days. That way, I will know that I've fixed the problem totally before I give it back to you. But he said, Arthur, I want to take my car now. So I said, since you want to take your car now, you're going to pay me the diagnosis fee before we even start. And he said, Arthur, Mokola. So we did our diagnosis and finished it, put the computer, checked whatever was wrong with the car, and after we got done, before giving him the report, I said, Soko to work a cent. He said, Arthur, church ganye. Report. And guys, that's how I work. It's not like I love money too much, but I think I've been beaten before. The guy that brought his Outlander, we fixed it and he refused to pay. So when I ask for money before I do anything for you, just know I've been treated like trash after I solved the problem for someone. So I don't want to go there now. So what were the problems? For I've told you time and again, guys, the things that control how your car works. Spark through the spark plugs. Of course, kati emoroka diesel lete ina spark plugs. Katogera kumoroka ya petrol because most of us drive petrol. Spark, air that comes through the air cleaner. Okay? And of course the injectors, which are the nozzles. Tweta gam after tweta again pe tweta gane spark. Once one of those things is not working properly, your car is going to have a problem. Now, the spark can be affected by one, the quality of your spark plugs. It can be affected by the quality of your wires or coils, if your car uses coils, and it can be affected by the quality of your air or the air cleaner. It can also be affected by any hose pipe that is not working the way it should work. Those hose pipes are supposed to be airtight. Once the air goes out from any point, your car is going to malfunction. Two, remember the gentleman of the Sienna also said here on one of the lives that he had repaired the AC of his car. Now, when they repaired the AC of his car, they put a bigger AC pump. That also will affect fuel consumption because the AC pump will be straining the engine. So that's one thing that we recommended. He changes. He could not change it yesterday because locally it will probably cost him 400 to 500,000 shillings. So that one we left. So we worked on these things. One, the throttle was too dirty because of the air cleaner that doesn't get changed. So he gave me money to buy the air cleaner. I bought it together with mine. But then I lost the air cleaner. I had to refund him his money. I lost his air cleaner. I don't know if someone might have stolen it. So, but I told him to buy the air cleaner somewhere else because I could not now do it again. So recommend a change of air cleaner. He bought new plugs, but they had to put the plugs they had put in his engine. He has the new 1NZ engine, but they had put the plugs that go to the old 1NZ engine. Now, the plugs of the old 1NZ engine don't work in the new 1NZ engine. This is the thing that I've told you guys time and again. It might seem expensive, but it will save you a lot of headache. The guys that are driving Toyota, get the chassis number of your car, go to Cefao or Dax Toyota, ask them to give you the plugs of your car. They'll give you plugs that are meant for your car, provided you not change the engine. If you're driving a Mitsubishi, go to Victoria Motors. Nissan, go to Motocare. Kia, go to Kia, and a bunch of that. It will make life easier for you. But what happens is if your mechanic puts the wrong plugs, your car will not complete combustion because the plugs will not be doing exactly what they do. Now, but mechanic abaina excuse za wezibawa na kugamba izo plug size ino kuba zino zino kuberamu kumba yono ne morokayo. Ochitegeera, a lot of people have these funny problems that stem from you having a mechanic that doesn't know what to do. Now, I'm not saying that amagezi gonna nzenga inane team yange, but some of your problems with your cars stem from very small mistakes that are made because mechanics don't give it time. Okay? So, The second thing, this gentleman's engine was already old. It turned so kunyombo oil. Nainga ata charge take fully synthetic oil. Now let me tell you this, guys. One of the reasons why I recommend we buy a car from the bond, especially when you are at a certain budget, is because a new car from the bond, you'll be the first owner. When you're the first owner, you'll start with synthetic oil. You'll start with synthetic oil. When you buy a used car, probably the person that bought that car, yali tamanyi. The moment they bought the car from the bond, they put mineral oil. And that has already made the engine old by like 2 years. The moment you put mineral oil or oil on Uganda. And now this gentleman bought a used car in Kampala, bali probably bateka mineral oil, atena zamu synthetic oil. Kata emotoka obviously etandikirawo kunywa oil. Emotoka bwenanywa oil, egenda kuza oil ne ku plug. Egenda kuza oil ku piston. You'll even be lucky bwito eno ne piston rings. Kuta the valve seals. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So when you buy a used car in Uganda, normally when we buy a car, I'll check the quality of oil in your engine and I'll tell you, but take oil or no, because based on how the previous person was maintaining the car. A motoka bojugule Kampala nga it's an old car. Put normal mineral oil or you emitwale kumi. Don't go be putting synthetic oil in an engine because they told you that engine takes synthetic. You have bought a used car, so you don't know how the other person has been maintaining it. So I told him, he was very skeptical when the mechanic told him to put normal oil. But when I came, I gave him the reason. I told him, put the normal mineral oil. Why? Because your car is old. It has started consuming a bit of oil. The heavier the oil, the less likely it will be to consume more oil. Now, if it consumes oil, obviously the engine is going to get weaker with time. Irane throttle. Namugambi, we have watched the throttle. The moment we worked on all those things, exhaust was wet. Yes, the exhaust was wet. And that's a sign of complete combustion. That's a sign of complete combustion. So guys, the small mistakes. Normally when you buy a car yourself from the bond, every error that comes into that car, you'll actually know it. You will know it. Ochitegere, naye moroka je wagulanga evugiddwako, you will not know the errors. That's why normally when someone has 25 million shillings and they want to buy a used car, I like, why buying a used car? Let me tell you the story of the Auris we bought yesterday. We bought an Auris. Now the gentleman called me like I think 2 days ago, like 3 days ago. He booked me with 50k, and then yesterday, normally I would ask. Like yesterday when he called me, he said, and I was asking him, okay, what car are you going to look for at 2 p.m.? The one thing he did not tell me is that they had already deposited on the car. Bari baji depositing a koda. So the goal was them to take Arthur to simply confirm to them that this car is worth it. Now, guys, when you're doing something like that, please be honest with me. Because there are some things that don't make sense to me. For example, what doesn't make sense to me is that you buy a Toyota Auris that is almost 2 years on Ugandan roads at 28 million shillings when a new one is 34. For me, it hasn't made sense. But for you guys, sometimes it makes sense to you. Why? You would buy a 28 million UBR. You get, when at 28, you can get a new Rawoom if you're paying cash, or you can get a new Sienna. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense to you guys. So when he came to me, finally, he came at around 1 p.m. I kept asking him, okay, why are we buying a used car at 25? Because for me, initially, I thought it was 25. So I told him, Auris, 25 because I had already done my survey. And he said, Arthur, what if I make 28? And I said, okay, so if you can make 28, why buying a used car? It's a genuine question. If you can make 28 to buy a car, why are we even buying a used car? So, but anyway, he said, but I know an Auris I saw. I know the Auris that I saw. This one that I saw. So let's go look at it. So we went and looked at it, and that's where I learned that he had already deposited on the car. We looked at the car. We inspected. It was good, in good condition, good tires, good suspension, good engine, clean the way you saw it. Just a few scratches here and there. The brakes were bad, just the way you'll see it in the report. Yeah. So I said, you guys can pay, but please go and bargain a little bit more. You get it? Because 28 for a used car in a way it doesn't make sense to me. Webedanga Kawundo, it would make sense. Webedanga Nuwa, it would make sense. But at the Auris, it doesn't really make sense. So so that's how we bought. So the only thing, I walked in, inspected, test drove the car, brought it back, and then I got a bit of trouble occupying. I don't know what these guys think. The same bond where we went, we bought the car, we parked our car. They wanted me to leave my keys. I don't leave my keys anywhere. Personally, I would rather go and park somewhere else. I never leave my keys with anyone. Because what? My car is literally an office. You get it? My car is literally an office. So there's no way I'm giving you my key unless I know you. So after we have inspected the car, we came. So I had to call the person, the broker that was the broker that worked with us, the broker that had gotten this guy the car, to come and make way for us. Some people are idiots, eh? Like like, why would you want my key? And the idiots that are saying baganye to echumzo are these low level brokers abataina ya dechikumi. Osegere, and I'm like, okay. Like normally when we are in situations like that, me, I lock my windows and I let whichever mechanic I worked with fight those battles, because the manyo kuva, and when you lose your cool, you lose the mission. So like we were there for like 30 minutes. And it was time to go pick my kids from school. We hadn't concluded the Sienna thing, and so I was there and got Techimpi Saburunji, but I had to keep my cool. Then I called the gentleman. He had to talk to the broker because I didn't have the broker's number. Called the broker to come and make way for us. So the guy came. I don't know how they talked, and I told these guys the car we have bought was literally in front of my car. Like you cannot say to them take out test moroka ne tugende wala emoroka je tuguze tujiguze mu kibanda chamwe. And there are places wali abantu abasiru. We have gone to Nakawa plenty of times. Oja no parking awe moroka no genda no jikuleli they tebale itambwa. So anyway, but finally they caught after like 30 minutes they took their car out of our way, and then we left. We came back to see the Sienna person, and he confirmed the car was doing things it wasn't doing. And I'm going to get feedback today in terms of fuel consumption. I know the consumption is definitely better, but I'm going to get feedback. So ideally, we should not have done it like that, but he wanted to take his car immediately. The ideal thing to do was for him to leave me the car. We fix the car. We drive it for like a day or two, confirm that the consumption is now better, and then give him back the car. But he wanted the car immediately. So the total bill for him was the 300,000 for diagnosis and 180 for labor for working on all the other things. And of course, he bought a few things. He bought a few things himself. The clamps to tighten the hose pipes, the fuel that was used to wash the the throttle. He bought all those. He bought all the materials. Otherwise, the bill would be bigger. The bill would actually be bigger. But 180 for labor. Now, guys, someone is going to ask, Arthur, I am solving a problem where you have probably spent a lot of money. For example, the person that sold him the AC pump sold him the wrong AC pump. He sold him the wrong AC pump. So he lost 500,000 just there with the AC pump. So he has to buy another AC pump, because what the AC pump of that car does is that it keeps almost wanting to shut off the engine, because the AC pump is big compared to the engine. He has to buy a smaller AC pump that was meant for his particular engine. Now, there are errors that your mechanics will make, and they'll cost you a lot of money. Those are errors that I won't make. If I make that error, I will pay for it. That's why I charge that amount of money. And normally we can, because it was supposed to be 250, we bargain up to 180,000. Right? So I could ideally even charge more, but I don't want to overcharge. But I want you to know that in the nkora biganye gwe binde today. Gwe moroka yeganye. Era bwe bateddewo. Nkugamba nti moroka eno gimanyi. There is a lady that bought me a Primo some time ago ya generator, and I told the moroka eno teddawo gitunde nga bweri ogule moroka endala. And then she got someone over from Machindi namugamba jajjizaawo. Neba gitwala ninga moroka ngetonya muno yonna. Nega katikati abantu balina kisa. Moroka etonya wano gearbox ina leakage, engine ina leakage. How are you telling someone you're going to repair that car? without like breaking the bank. Like sometimes you calculate the amount of money that's going to repair a car, instead of repairing, just sell the car the way it is, top that money up and get a better car. So let me look for Council Patrick Asiku's comment. Let me see. Mbasi bro rongeda kuduka. Under what circumstances should you want to go for higher purchase of a car? Higher purchase. If the budget at which you're buying the used car is 10 million or less. If you're going to buy a car that is 2 years, 3 years old on Ugandan roads, yeah, at 25, and the new version of that car in the bond is 35, you're making the wrong decision. That's my take. Why? Because the other guys can even give you a grace period of a year for you to pay. Like we bought an Audi at 28 million shillings, UBR. The same car in the bond is 34. A difference of 6 million. You get it? That was a bad buy. Nero akuba saba denange nabudde already nyina Sienna y'omusajja eri wano budde bwa kunona abaana kusomero ozesawa munana nenkebera. I told them what they needed to do. I gave them my take, because if you're paying cash, a room is 28 in the bond. If you're paying cash, why would I buy a used car at 30 if I can get a new car? I don't know if you guys get my argument. And for me, I'm an advocate of buying old cars, by the way, but only if you don't have the money for a new car. Ontegera, the old car should be special, like the project car. Ngabora project car, and it's a special car. Buli wera sasa maza abantu bachuka yeyo. But you're buying a car that is totally ordinary at a price that ideally you should get a car from the bond bakuwe n'omwaka. Izo million mukaga bazikuwozesa suire omwaka obotekayo emitwalo 5. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's very hard to find someone that has collected 28 million shillings and able to even pay 1 million shillings a month in the bond. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And also I told them to remove the guard. Your guarding, guys, the people that put guards on your cars, guards are the worst. A damage that is simple, the guard will exaggerate it. Council Patrick ndoza akuzem. Kale guys, kamba sibule ngenezi luke. Uyombia Mark Muchunguzi, Gerard Motion by Benji Lawrence Biamukama, Samuel Ntare, Council Patrick Asiku, user YS2, Lawrence Omule, Sarwaji Charles, Abdallah Abbeka, Chikawa Ricky, Jobio Alex, Kawa Armstrong, Frank Promo, Ronald Muchwa, Stanley Chigozi, Aliganyira Derek, K. Jovan, Panga Godfrey, Morris Atoms, Nima, Armstrong. I said elections. Morris Atoms. Me, I said elections. Kutesa David, Chigozi Stanley, Julia Sengoba, Muchunguzi Gerald, Hussein Batuline, Starch Events,